ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्धुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तं
सिद्धार्थं गोचरं तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
गोविन्दं
गोविन्दं
परमानन्दं
परमानन्दं
सद्गुरुं
सद्गुरुं
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
जन्तूनां नरजन्मदुर्लभमतः पुंस्त्वं ततो विप्रता
जन्तूनां
जन्मदुर्लभमतः
नरजन्मदुर्लभमतः
पुंस्तौ
ततो
ततो
विप्रता
विप्रता।
तस्मात् वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरता विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम्।
तस्माद्
तस्मात्
वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरता
वैदिकधर्ममार्गपरता
विद्वत्त्वं
विद्वत्त्वमस्मात् परम्।
यस्मात्
आत्मानात्मविवेचनं स्वनुभवो ब्रह्मात्मना संस्थितिः
आत्मात्मविवेचनं स्वनुभवो
आत्मनात्मनासिद्धिः
मुक्तेर्नो शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते
मुक्तिर्नो
कोटि
शतजन्मकोटिसुकृतैः पुण्यैर्विना लभ्यते
लभ्यते.
वयं सर्वे चन्द्रशेखर भारती तीर्थ स्वामिनः विवेक चूडामणि भाष्य व्याख्यानम् अधीमहे तत्र विवेकचूडामण्यां प्रथम तथा द्वितीय श्लोकस्य व्याख्यानम् आचार्येण उक्तं यत् यथा गीतायाम् आरम्भः अशोच्यानन्वशोचः इति तद्वत् अत्रापि यथा गीतायां सारभूत समस्त संग्रह श्लोकः अस्ति यथा गीतायाम् अशोच्यां तद्वत् विवेक चूडामण्यामपि जन्तूनां नरजन्म इति प्रकरणग्रन्थस्य संग्रक श्लोकः वर्तते. We have seen all this. We don't have to repeat. Number one, you can just make it as few points. Narajanma is Durlabham. That has to be established. Jantuna, among the human beings, human being, the Janma, Narajanma, Manushya Janma is a rarity. Janma is nothing but Sukshma Sharira Sanyogaha Janma. What Sukshma Shariram? That is Nara Shariram. Nara Sharira Praptihi Durlabha iti. So now point number one. There must be Atma surviving death. Whether it is Purva Mimamsaka or Uttara Mimamsaka, whatever it may be. Atma survives, number one. And that Atma is distinct from the Shariram. Number two, Father, he gave the example. Like a thread connects all the flowers and it is formed in the shape of a garland. But the thread is different from the flowers. Therefore, Atma is Vyatiriktaha. Number one, Atma survives. Number two, Atma is different from the Shariram. Can Sharira be Atma? No, that cannot be possible. Because Shruti says, Atma vare drashtavyaha, shrottavyaha, mantavyaha, nitidhyasitavyaha. If Shariram is not pratyaksham, then we have to resort to Shastram. But Shariram is pratyaksha. Therefore, and Shastram says Atma va aredrashta. Therefore, Shariram is not Atma. That is why Atma is distinct from Shariram. This is number two. Then what is the cause for taking the Shariram? That depends on Karma Pala. A Jiva has got varieties of Karma Pala. In this meaning, all the possibilities to take any Janma, starting from amoeba up to dinosaur, all possibilities are there. So Karma Pala is a cause. So how Karma Pala is a cause, that also he establishes. Ishvarana Srishtam Idam Jagat. Bhagavan created this Jagat and the beings, all the beings. He did not create just as he wishes. No. It has its Karanam. The Karanam is Karma Pala, Samashti Karma, Jiva Karma Pala. Jivanam Karma Palani. That is the cause. In accordance with the Karma Pala of the Jiva, Jiva experiences different shariram and born and then experiences karma palam. If it is Manisha Shariram, it does karma and also enjoys karma pala, both. In other beings, there is no such possibility. Therefore, that point is karma pala, and Ishvara is all knowledge. Therefore, he cannot create the srishti by just whims and fancies. For how do you know all these things? Shastram is a pramanam. Therefore, Shastra Vivahara Nidhanam Astikyamiti. Therefore, Shastra Vivahara, for which the cause, Hetu is Astikyam. Only when the person is Astikya, then only person will believe in the Shastram, and therefore he will engage in the action or even in the knowledge, whether it is Karmakanda or Veda Anta. Therefore, Astikya Buddhi is important. Therefore, Narajanma Durlabhamiti. These are the points. Next paragraph also we saw. Tataha, number one is Narajanma. Among the Narajanma, Pumstam. For whatever the reason. Pumstam. Pumstam. Here, Acharya means literally man, but we know what we saw before. The Pumstam stands for the ability to think properly. It should be a thinking person. That is Pumstam. And also he says only Brahmanas are, why he says, because even though all the Traivarnikas are endowed with this sacred thread, Upanayana, but Kshatriya and Vaishya, they don't have time for complete devotion to Shastra. Kshatriya jobs is protect the citizen. It's a job. It's a karma for them. They have to do it. It is dharma, their dharma. Similarly, Vaishya is Krishyadi karma. And therefore, they're all important pillars of the society. And they have got the responsibilities. And therefore, in their work, there will be a lot of chitta vikshepa, scattering. The mind scatters all over because they engage in bhagya vyapara. Therefore, atma vichara is very difficult. That is why it says brahmana iti. There is no other reason. Then Acharya, he says, from here, it is also we saw, but we'll see. Mukajanamayam dharma vaishnavam lingadharanam. Acharya quotes from near Smriti. Bhagujato ruja dhanam ayam dharmo vidiyate iti. So, Mukat jayate is Mukaja, the one who is born from the face of the Virat Purusha. That is called, who is that person? Brahmanaha. So, Mukajayate. Brahmanosya mukamasit kasya Virat Purushasya bahurajanyakritah uru tadasya yadvaishyaha. It says, Mukajayate ayam dharmaha. This dharma, which is lingadharanam, that is sannyasa dharma, is for the one who is completely engaged in the study of the Shastra, which is Brahmana iti. Bhagujataha, Bhagurajanyakritah from Bhagoho jataha, jayate. One who is born from Bhagu, who are a Kshatriya. Similarly, Urujataha, born from the thighs. So therefore, for them, this dharma is not vidiyate. Ayam sannyasa dharmaha na vidiyate. Linga dharana means linga is lingate ananati lingaha. Therefore, for linga dharma, for Vaishnavam padam, for Vishnu padam, Brahma padam, that linga, that sannyasa is. That is the idea for them. So for he says, Brahmana iti. Okay, then, iti smriti anusarena Aidam Parigena, Brahma Vichara Sadhana, Sannyasasya, Navakashat, Ekasmineva Janmani, Brahma Digamaha, Tayogo Durlabaha, iti, Yotanartam, Dvijattam, Tataha iti Anuktva, Tataha Viprata iti Uktam. In keeping with the Vakya of the Smriti, some Smriti, what Smriti? To check. So idam paraha, this is what the ultimate goal. But knowing the Ishvara, that father sannyasa is the lingadharanam, that dharma is for Brahmana. So Brahma Vichara Sadhana Sannyasasya Avakasha. For Brahma Vichara, the sadhanam, and that is in the form of sannyasa, for which there is no space for Urujataha and Bhagujataha, that is Kshatriya and Vaishya. There is no space, there is no free, no, there is no freeness. The mind is not free because always engaged in the activities. Therefore, in one janma itself, ekasmin janmani eva Brahma adhigamaha, understanding Brahma Ishvara, tayoho kshatriya vaishyayoho iti durlabha, which is very difficult iti, in order to say that iti dvatanatam, to convey that dvijatvam. Therefore dvijatvam is twice born. He did not say, Acharya did not say twice born. Where did he use the word? Did not use by Acharya Shankaracharya. He said jantuna narajanmaha durlabha tataha pumstam. After that he said viprata iti. Dvijatvam he did not use, iti anuktva, not said. Tataha, Dvijatvam Tataha iti Anuktva, having not said, then what did he say? Tataha Viprata iti. Tataha Viprata iti. Viprata tells that it is Brahmana. Simple. Who has or who will study Shastram? Brahmana only. Adhikaraha. Therefore, Viprata iti Uktam. Viprata, the one who has the knowledge of the Shastram, Dharma Shastram. Not only Dharma Shastram, all the Vidya Sthanani. The 14 Vidya Sthanams are there. Angani Veda Chatvaraha, Vedas Chatvaraha, four Vedas and Angani, Mimamsa Nyaya Vistaraha, Puranani Dharma Shastram cha, Vidya Heta Chaturdasha, that's a Shloka, Chaturdasha Vidya. So it's a highly learned person, knowledgeable with regard to Shastra. With regard to any doubt in the Shastram, that person has to be consulted with Prata. That is why in every kingdom, in the Sabha, there will be a person who is endowed with all the knowledge of the Shastram. Viprata iti yuktam. So here not only all the Shastram, here mainly he has got the knowledge of the Veda Purva as well as Vedanta, but he has got some understanding. He has got knowledge. Viprata is there. Scholarship is there. So therefore Viprata iti yuktam. So Viprata is Durlabha. That Viprata also learning, studying Shastram and gaining knowledge. So that knowledge of the Shastram, the scholarship, that is also, it is Durlabha. Without Shastram, studying the Shastram, how the next step is possible. So, therefore, Viprata. Viprata we can take it as one who has studied Veda, not Vedanta. If you study Vedanta, then other steps are also covered. That is why we take Veda and Angani, etc. Well versed in the Veda, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, not Upanishad. That is left out for the next stage of life. Is called Vipraha. Then Acharya quotes from Vasishta Smriti. Brahmanasya tu dehoyam na upabhogaya kalpate. All these are very beautiful words and very strong. He says Smriti. Ega kleshaya magate pretyananta sukhaya cha. Whether we follow or not, it is there. The Vasishta Smriti says Brahmanasya degaha is ayam degaha, this body which a Brahmana assumes, that Jiva assumes the Shariram of a Brahmana. It is not meant for the enjoyment of the pleasures of the world. Na upabhogaya. So therefore, what is it meant for then? Iga klesha, mahate kleshaya. That's to follow the Shastram and do all the Nitya Naimittika, the karma. All these involve difficulty. Mahat klesha, mahate kleshaya. Mahataha, mahan kleshaha. Very difficult. all this. But on being Brahmana, he has to do that. Therefore, he follows all the injunctions of the Shastram, which is not easy. Having followed, what happened to that person? Pretya, ihalokat pretya, having gone from this world, ananta sukham he gains. Sukha which is incomparable, total, purnam, atma sukham he gains. For that only, the Sharira is meant for Brahmana iti. Not only for Brahmana, in fact, all the people, but because of the unpreparedness, because of Chitta Vikshepa, because of too much of Bhagya Vyapara, not ready. Whereas Brahmana doesn't have anything else to do. In fact, he cannot support himself. He has to be supported by the other three Varnas. That is how the arrangement of the Varna Ashrama. Iti Vasishta Smritya, Veda Vigita, Pravritti Nivritti Dharmanushtane, Ekasmeva Janmani, Brahma Adigantum Shakyam, Brahmanena iti Bhavaha. So, Ekasmin Janmani, in this Janma itself, it is possible for a Brahmana, because who has done the homework, for him, Brahma Adigamanam, Brahma Adigantum, to know Brahma, understand Brahma, Ishvara, it is possible for him because Veda Vigita, ordained by, enjoined by the Veda, Pravritti Dharma as well as Nivritti Dharma. Pravritti is engaging in actions, Nivritti is withdrawal, do's and don'ts. He follows. He doesn't violate. No compromise. Strictly adhere to the rules. Doesn't take meal anywhere. Only self-cooked or wife-cooked. All these are the Agnihotra. It's not easy. Homa is Agnihotra karma is easy. Preparation. Whether such people are there or not, big question. Are some Agnihotri still alive doing? All these are dharma anushtanam. Simple Sandhya Vandanam itself is a big thing. So yet for them it is possible if they follow all these things. Of course, they're supposed to follow. Acharya assumes they follow, therefore it is Adigantam Shankyam Brahmanena by a Brahmana, it is possible for to know Brahmagiti. Simple Sanskritam we can follow. अतः एव तस्मात् वैदिक धर्म मार्ग परथा इति उक्तम. Therefore only Acharyena, the Shloka Acharya said, तस्मात् वैदिक धर्म मार्ग परथा इति उक्तम. Said, Acharya said, न केवलं विप्रतया लब्धव्यम लभ्यते, अपि तु ताम लब्ध्वा तद उचित धर्मानुष्ठाने इति भावः. By viprata alone, what is to be attained, labdhavyam is what is to be gained, is not gained. Apitu, but also having gained that, tad uchita dharma anushtanam, one has to follow. Viprata, the person knows dharma. Tatato dharma jigyasa, he knows, yes, well studied dharma shastra, Veda Purva. Dharma shastra is different. Veda Purva is studied dharma jigyasa, Veda dharma shastram also is there, which is not comes under Veda, that is different. Dharma jigyasa is talking about analysis of the Veda Purva. So that is well knowledgeable. Well knowledgeable in all the 14 Vidyasthana. Therefore, not just by scholarship, not by knowing, the person cannot gain what is to be gained. Then what? He has to follow. Tad uchita dharma anushtanena, only by the performance of that karma, that what he has learned, only by following, only it is gained. Not by knowing. By knowing yogasana, cannot become fit. By doing, it's all chodana lakshana, to be done. So knowing dharma will not help. It is following. Dharma anushtanena eva iti bhavaha. Dharma vishwasya jagatah pratishta. Dharmena papam apanudati iti shrutya. Dharmasya sukha sadhanatvam dukkha hetu papa nivartakatvam tannivritya dukkha bhava etatvancha iti. It's a long sentence. We'll see. Dharma vishwasya jagatah. Dharma vishwasya jagatah. This is from the Taittiriya Samhita. Mahanarayana Upanishad, it is there at the end. It's continuous chanting it is. Dharma Vishwasya Jagata Pratishta, then Dharmena Papam Panudati. Jagat is Pratishta, is as a support in Dharma. The entire Jagat, Vishwasya means Vishwasya Sarvanama Shabda, Sarvasya Jagataha Ityartaha. The entire Jagat as its foundation, as its basis in Dharma. Dharmena by Dharma, Papa is Apanudati, Papa is removed. Iti Shrutya by Shruti, Taitra Samhita. Dharmasya eva Sukha Sadhanatvam. Dharma is the Sukha Sadhanatvam, enjoys shelters of being a sadhana for gaining Sukha. Dukkha Hetu Papa Nivartakatvam. What is the Hetu for Dukkham, cause for Dukkham? Papa. If I experience any Dukkha, it is due to my Papa. So therefore, Papa Nivartakatvam, to get rid of the Papa. Therefore, Tannavritya, by removing that Papa, which is Dukkha Hetu. Dukkha Bhavaha. Dukkha Abhavaha. Dukkha Abhavaha Etutvancha iti. Absence of Dukkha. The Hetu, the cause for the absence of Dukkha also. Tannavritya. Dukkha Hetu Nivritya, that is Papa Nivritya. It means by refraining from doing Papa, and therefore there will be Dukkha Abhavaha. For Dukkha Abhavaha, what for Dukkha Abhavaha one has to do? One has to refrain from doing Papa. Tannivritya Dukkha Abhava Hetu. That is a Hetu for the absence of the Dukkham. Etutvancha iti. Sukham me bhuyat. Dukkam ma bhut iti. May I have Sukham always. Kada. Here it is not said when, but when do we want to have Sukham? Not in the morning, not in the evening, not tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It is all the time. Sukham me bhuyat. Sarvada. Dukkam me ma bhut. Never Dukkam. Iti. Sakala jana kamana Vishaya Sukha Dukkha Abhava Rupa Purushartha Sadhanatvam Tasya Eva Iti Dyotayitum Dharati Dharmaha Dharti iti Dharmaha Dhriyate Anena iti Va Dharmaha iti Vyutpatya Jagat Pratishta Hetutvam Tasya Shruti Bodhitam Suchayitum Vaidika Karma Marga Parta iti Anuktva Dharma Marga iti Uktam Vaidika Karmanaha Dharmatve api Karma Shabdena Vivakshitartha Alabhat. Beautiful sentence. Sukham me bhuyat. May I be always may I have sukham, happiness. Never dukkam. Dukkam ma bhut, ma abhut. May I not be, may I not have dukkha iti. It is sakala jana kamana vishaya sukha dukkha bhava rupa purushartha sadhanatvam. Purushehi artyate prartyate iti purushartaha. Dharmartha kama moksha. That is the sadhana. So Purushartha sadhanam is for what? Purushartha. Human beings make effort for what? Propelled by desires. Vishaya Kamana. All the people, Sakala Jana, Kamana, desire for the Vishaya, which is the cause for Sukha and which is the cause for Dukkha also. So Sukha Dukkha Bhava Rupa. Because every endeavor, if anything you earn, it has anything you gain, or anything you achieve or buy, it has both sides. Sukham also, Dukkham also. So Sukha Dukkha Abhava Rupa, Purushartha Sadhanatva. What is that Purushartha? Where Sukha Dukkha Abhavaha, Abhava Rupaha, Sakala Jana Kamana Vishaya Sukha, and Dukkha Abhava Rupaha Purushartha Sadhanatvam Tasya Eva Iti. For him only, Purushartha is the ultimate goal of a human being, which is in the form of Sukha, gaining Sukha, and Dukkha Abhava, avoiding Dukkha. For that, what is a sadhanam? The dharma is a sadhanam. And dharma is possible for whom? Only for them, only for those people who knows what dharma is, that is viprata, and who follows the dharma, not just knowing. One has to follow. Tasya eva iti. Tasya referring to the person who knows and who follows. Anushtita purushasya eva iti dyotayitum and dharati iti dharmaha. That is the definition of dharma. Dharma has got many definitions. Dharati, that which supports, is called dharma. Dhrudhatu, dharati. Driyate anena iti va dharmaha, that by which also, that by which, driyate anena iti. This jagat is sustained by what? That is dharma. Iti vitpatya. Jagat pratishtha hetutvam. Jagat as its support, that is dharma. Jagat pratishtha hetutvam. The cause, hetu is cause, karanam. The cause of jagat pratishtha, for the jagat to sustain, to jagat pratishtha, supporting. What is the hetu? Dharma. Tasya shruti bodhitam suchayatum. In order to bodhitam suchayatum. Tasya shruti bodhitam shutayatum. So that is in order to convey this. Vaidika karma marga parata iti anukta. Acharya did not say Vaidika karma marga parata. Did he say? No. Vaidika dharma marga parata only he says. So Vaidika karma marga parata iti anuktva, not said. Anuktva, na uktva, anuktva. He did not say Vaidika karma marga parata, but dharma marga, marga iti uktam. Therefore, Vaidika dharma marga parata iti uktam acharyana. Therefore, even though Vaidika karma enjoys status of being dharma, but karma, by the word karma shabda, what is intended to be conveyed, that cannot be conveyed. That's why Acharya is very specific. All Vedika karmas are dharma. Dharma has got another meaning, karma also. Following the Vedika dharma, following the injunctions of the Shastra, that is dharma. So karma, doing, that is also dharma only. But what happens? By using the word karma in the shloka, what the Acharya wants to convey, that may not be conveyed. That's why Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata is important. Dharma is important because Dharma is the cause for this support of this universe. And Dharma, that is in the form of karma. So instead of saying karma, Dharma is, he uses the word Dharma. Because by following Dharma only, Purushartha, Ishta Purushartha is gained. Not by doing. Not by doing. What you do, that should be in keeping with Dharma. Therefore, which is more superior? Dharma. Even though Dharma meaning karma. Karma can mean, it can mean Nishiddha karma also. The actions which are prohibited. That is also karma only. But therefore we say Dharma. Emphasis on Dharma. So therefore, Vivekshitartha alabhat. The intended meaning will not be conveyed if you use the word karma. That is why Dharma is important. Our whole Dharma is Sanatana, we say Dharma. It is based on Dharma only. And Dharma which we have to follow then becomes Anushtana, that is karma. So Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. Yadi Dharma Vyatiriktam Kinchit Sukha Sadhanatvam. Suppose if you use karma, then what will happen? By doing this karma, suppose we say, Yadi Dharma Vyatiriktam Kinchit Sukha Sadhanam Dukkha Nivrati Sadhanam Chasyat. Tat Sadhana Sampadanena Sarvaha Loka Sarvada Sukhi. Sarvaha Lokaha Sarvada Sukhi. Nirta Dukkascha Syadeva. If other than Dharma, suppose some karma, something is there, you do it by following that. Dharma Vitiriktam, apart from Dharma, different from Dharma, distinct from Dharma. And that is a Sukha Sadhanam. It is a supposing. That is a Hetu, that is a Karanam for gaining Sukha, and it is Dukkha Nivrti Sadhanam. Sadhanam means for avoiding Dukkha. Suppose if it is the Dharma Vitiriktam, other than Dharma, some Sadhanam is there. Then all the people gaining that Sadhanam, that sadhana sampadana, by adopting that sadhana, by following that, by accomplishing that sadhana, all the people, sarvaha lokaha, always there will be sukhi, and there will not be any dukkha, nivrta dukkha bhavati. All the people will be free from dukkha. Nivritta dukkha is a Bhaguri Samasa. Nivrittani dukkani yasya. All the people, janaha, will be nivritta dukkha. But is it so? No. There is no other sukha sadhanatvam, dukkha nivritti sadhanatvam other than dharma. Therefore, dharma vyatiriktam, anyata sadhanam, nasti. That is the idea. And this dharma, is it indriya vishaya? That is also not. It can be known only from the Veda. That is why he says, dharmasya tu atindriyatvena. It is atindriya, not indriya gochara. Above sense perception, pratyakshat. Shastraika samadhigamyatvat. Only by Shastra alone, Shastra eka, only by Shastra. Only eka Shastra. It is known. The dharma has the status of being known only through the Shastra. So Jananam, that jnanasya, for the people, for that knowledge, Shastram antara asambhavat, anything other than Shastram is not there. Shastram antara, Shastram ditya vibhakti. We saw in the Karaka class also, antara antarena yukte, anabhikte karmani dutiya. Shastram antara. Antara means other than Shastram, without Shastram. Asambhavat, sadhana alabhat. There is no other sadhanam other than Shastra. Abhavat. It is not possible other than Shastram, and also sadhana also is not there other than this, because Shastram alone gives the sadhana, the means of doing and accomplishing the desired end results. Therefore, pala alabaha, therefore, there is no accomplishment of the results also, desired results also. Iti pratipaditum shakyate taduktam vaidika iti. Iti pratipaditum can be presented, so possible to present. Therefore, Muktam, therefore it is said, Vaidika dharma is important. Anushtanam, Vaidika dharma anushtanam, following the dharma. And also he says further, Dharmasya lakshanam. What is the lakshanam? What is the definition of dharma? The Purva Mimamsa Sutra, Jaimini Sutra. First sutra, Atato, Dharma Jignasa. Second sutra is Chodana lakshanaha artaha dharmaha. Chodana means command. So dharma is in the form of command. Who commands that? Only Veda. Only Veda. Therefore, Chodana Laksha Dharma is characterized by Chodana, by injunction, by command. That is by Veda. Iti Jaimani Maharshi Jaimani Maharshi, Purva Mimamsa, Sutra 1 who wrote, disciple of Vyasacharya, Jaimani Maharshi Sutritam, he has done the Sutram. It Veda Pramanakatvam Tad Vaidika iti Visheshanena Avagamitam. Dharma as the status of Veda Pramana only can be known only through Veda. Therefore, Vaidika iti Tad Vaidika iti by Visheshanena Avagamitam. It is shown by the Acharya Vaidika iti the Visheshana Shabdena. Vaidika Dharma Marga Prata, not any Dharma. Use the word very particularly Vaidika and use the word very particularly Dharma. Dharma has got a broader meaning. Instead of using karma, dharma is a sadhana. That values are important, attitudes are important, without which Brahma Jnanam is out of scope, not possible. That is why values are emphasized. This is only for those, Jnanam and Moksha, only for those who are dharmika, who follows the dharma, the values. The Gita, the 20 values are talked about amanittam, adambittam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam. That is what we call sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Values. Then nahi vedam vina pramanantaram dharma vishaye padam adhatum ishte. Other than Veda pramana. Pramanantaram is anya pramana. Mayura vyamsakadi samasa, it is special samasa. Dharma vishaye, with regard to dharma, padam adhatum ishte. There is no ishte, there is no wish, there is no command for sustaining the padam, adhatum, for nourishing the padam, Brahma padam, Vishnu padam, other than dharma, there is no other pramana. There is no other pramana other than Shastra, other than Veda, with regard to Dharma Vishaya. And Dharma is Tasya Atindriyatvena Pratyakshasya Atra Prasarat. Because it is Atindriya, Atindriya means not available for sense perception. It is about sense perception. Therefore, Pratyakshasya Tatra Prasarat. All other pramanas are Pratyaksha. Therefore, Pratyaksha doesn't, Pratyaksha Tatra Aprasarat doesn't have scope. It cannot extend itself Pratyaksha the pramana with regard to the Vishaya, which is Atindriya, which is Dharma. So, with regard to Dharma Vishaya, therefore, Vedamina Anya Pramanantaram Padam, the goal, Adatum, to nourish the end, it is not there, na ishte, not wished, not commanded by the Lord in the form of the Veda. Ataha eva na anumanam tatra prasati. If Pratyaksha is not there, will Anumana work? No. Pratyaksha itself is ruled out. What to talk about Anumana? Anumana depends on Pratyaksha. On the data given by sense perception, on that only Anumana operates, Arthapati operates. Therefore, they also don't have scope. Na prasarati. Prasarati means not, doesn't have any scope. Then, Srudhatu, Sarati Sarataha, Pra Upasarga, Prasarati. You cannot exactly translate. Doesn't have scope. That is fine. So it is therefore not applicable. That's the meaning. Pratyaksha Mulakatvat Anumana Apravritte, Anumana Pravritte. Because it is the Mula dependence on Pratyaksha, Pratyaksha Mulakatvat, Anumana Pravritte. Anumana can be applied only when there is Pratyaksha. When it is Dharma is Apratyaksha, Atindriya Vishaya, then how can Anumana Pravritti will be there? Not possible. Atayeva Veda Vetarikta Shabdaha api na tam bodhagitum parayati. And also, therefore also, other than the words of the Veda, why don't we use Lokika Shabda? Why do we use Veda Shabda? There are two types of Shabda. See, Shabda is a Pramanam. Shabdam is a Pramanam. Shabdam, Veda Shabda, that is Pramanam, and Lokika Shabda also Pramanam. Not for the Vishaya which the Veda reveals. That is Pramanam for something. So, Veda Vetirikta Shabda, other than the words of the Veda, Lokika words, etc. Na tam bodhagitam parayati. Tam referring to Dharma. It cannot teach Dharma. Doesn't have the ability to present Dharma. Therefore, Pratyakshadina Avadaritasya Yevartasya Lokika Shabdena Bodhagitum Shakyatvat. By Pratyakshadi Pramana, what can be conveyed? Lokika Shabdena Tasyeva Artasya Bodhagitum Shakyatvat. By Lokika Shabda. Lokika Shabda, Alokika Shabda. Alokika Shabda is Veda Shabda. So therefore, Lokika Shabda, it can convey only Bodhagitum, it can teach only that which comes under the scope of Pratyaksha. Pratyakshadina avadharitasya eva artasya. That which can be covered, which can be understood only by Pratyaksha, which can be known only to Pratyaksha. For that only Lokika Shabdas can be used. Not for the Vishaya which the Veda reveals. Lokika Shabda cannot be used. Therefore, Veda Vitirikta Shabdaha Dharmam na bodhagitum parayati. Other than Veda Shabda, that is Lokika Shabda, cannot convey, cannot give the understanding of Dharma. Therefore, Smritinam api Paurushayattvena Purushanam Brahma Pramadadi Sambhavena Kartra Dosha Nibandana Pramanya Shankrayam Apaurushayataya Dosha Ganda Anagandita Dosha Ganda Anagandita Shruti Mulakataya Eva Pramanasya Vaktavyataya Veda Vitiriktasya Shabdasya Dharmaha Swataha Apramanatvat. You can split and understand. Smritinam api Paurushayattvena. Smriti also It is Paurushaya Pramana. Even though we consider Shruti as secondary Pramana, the Gita we consider as Pramana. It is Smriti only, written by Vyasacharya. Gita is different. Not only Gita, other. But not all Paurushaya Pramana. Gita is exception. Gita and other text. When it is Paurushaya, when there is that is known Paurushayatvam, when it is as the Paurushaya means human beings, Paurushaya. It is known by Paurushaya, applying the intellect of the person. Something is known. Smriti is all, they're all come out from the head of the human being, intellect of a human being, written. But human beings are not without fault. Paurushayatva, because Smriti, etc., they have the status of being Paurushaya Pramana. They have the source of human being. Source is human beings. Not what about Veda? Not human being. It is Ishvara, Apurushaya. Smritinam Paurushayatvam. Smritinam, Shrutinam Apurushayatvam. With regard to Dharma and Moksha other, Apurushayam, Veda is the Pramana. Smriti, etc., they are all written. They are all created by a human intellect. Because it is created by human intellect. Therefore, Purushanam, Purushayatvena, Smritinam api, there could be some human defects. Brahma, Pramadadi, Sambhavena. Brahma and Pramadi. Brahma, Pramadadi. Brahma is a delusion, and Pramada, negligence. All this could be there, possible, because human defects. Therefore, Kartra dosha, there could be defects on the part of the Karta, the doer, that is Smriti Karta. Therefore, Nibandhana, Kartra dosha, Nibandhana. Kartra dosha Nibandhana, Nishayana Badhyate. Nibandhana, the word, is it's all entwined with, bound with Kartra dosha, the defects of the doer. Therefore, there is a Pramanya Shanka, doubt. There is a doubt with regard to Smriti being the Pramana, because since written by a human mind, human being, therefore it can be endowed with some human defects. Whereas, therefore, in the case of Veda, Apurushataya means that is not done by human beings. Apurushata. Veda has the status of being Apurushaya Pramana. Therefore, Apurushataya, you have to supply Shrutinam, Apurushataya, it has the status of being Apurusha, not created by human intellect. Therefore, Dosha Gandha Anagandita Shruti Mulakatastaya Eva, it is doesn't have even a whiff of dosha, defect. Dosha Gandhena Anagandita. Whiff of, even a dosha defect is not there. The Mula Pramana, in the Shastra Pramanam, Apurushaya Pramanam. Therefore, Pramanasya Vaktavya, therefore Shastram, Shruti, has a status of the Pramana, which doesn't have even a whiff of dosha. Anagandita means it is not tainted by the smell. What is the smell? The smell is compared to defect. Doesn't have any defect, defectless Shruti, as its root, which is free from defects, defect free. Therefore, Pramanyasya, the Shruti is a Pramanam. That has to be Vaktavyataya. Therefore, Veda Vyatiraktasya, Shabdasya, other than the words, Shastra, other than the Veda, other than the Shruti Vakya, Veda Vyatiraktasya, Shabdasya, the words which are other than the Veda, they cannot enjoy the status of being a Pramana. Apramanatva cannot enjoy the status of being a Pramana with regard to Dharma. Veda is Satah Pramanyam. We cannot verify what Veda says with other Pramana because it is a Pramana. If a Pramana can be verified by other Pramana, then it is not a Pramana. What Veda says, that is available only for Veda. We cannot verify by other Pramana. That is why we say Shraddha is required. Astikya Buddhi. Shastre Astikya Buddhi. Guru Vakyasya cha. So therefore, words other than the words of the Veda cannot enjoy the status of being a Pramana by itself. Sataha Pramana Apramanatvat. And also, Kincha. Smriti Kartara Hava Tindriyam Dharmam Katam Ajanan. It's a very interesting discussion. Smriti Kartaraha. Smriti Kartaraha means Smritinam Karta, the one who does, who creates, who writes, Smriti. Smriti Kartara. Then Katam Vak Kincha. In Atindriya Dharma Katam Ajanan. How do they know this Dharma which is Atindriya Vishaya? Smriti Kartara. They know. How do they know? Yoga Yogaja Samartyana iti chet. Yogat Jayate Yoga Jayate. Suppose if you say the Samarthya, the capability which is born because due to yogat, by the yoga, by the discipline, they practice tapas, etc. If you say that Samarthyam, that capability, that Samarthyam, Katam Tegi Sampaditam, how did they accomplish this capability? Suppose if you say Smriti Kartaraha, first question is Smriti Kartaras Katam Atindriya Vishayam Jananti. How do they know the Atindriya Vishaya Dharma? Suppose if you say by yoga abhyasa, yoga they get. Now that samarthyam also how did they gain? Dharma anushthanena iti chet. Suppose if you say it is by following a dharma, then that dharma, how do they know? Saha dharmaha katam jnataha, how did they come to know the dharma? Ataha eva, that is why Shruti says, Yo brahmanam vidadati purvam, yo vai vedamscha praginoti tasmai. Having created Brahma in the beginning, Shrishtehe Purvam. Then the Lord Bhagavan Ishvara, he gave the knowledge of Praginoti Tasmai Brahmane, all the Vedas, he gave the knowledge of the Vedas to Brahmaji. Iti Pratamam Srijyamanasya, who is the first born. It is Hiranyagarbha, that is Brahmaji, Prajapati. Hiranyagarbhasyapi, Pratam Srijya, the one who is created first. Who is created first? Brahmaji only. Hiranyagarbha, who was created first. That is Ishvara Anugrahita Veda Mulakam Eva Dharma Jnanamiti Bodhayati Shrutihi. That Hiranyagarbha was created, and Hiranyagarbha, after that, the Brahmaji, he created the Srishti. Now, Ishvara Anugrahita Veda Mulakam Eva Dharma Jnanamiti. Therefore, what is the Moolam of this knowledge of the Dharma? It is Ishvara alone. Because of the grace of the Lord only, Ishvarena Anugrahita, grace of the Lord. Veda Mulakam. So Veda as a Mula, the root in Bhagavan only. Because it is given by out of grace to Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha, who was first born, first created. Therefore, Dharma is a Mula in whom? In Ishvara only. That what Shruti says, Bodhayati, Shruti teaches. Kim Vaktavyam Mitaresham, what to talk about other people? If even Hiranyagarbha was handed over this knowledge of the Veda by the Lord, then what to talk about other people? Ataha Sushtu Uktam Vaidika iti. Therefore, Acharya using the word Vaidika is very proper. It's appropriate. Sushtu Uktam iti. Then further he says, Abhaksha Vayubhaksha iti vat Vedaika Meyatvam Dharmasya Bodhayati. Up is water. So Apaha Bhakshayati, Vayum Bhakshayati. Apaha Bhakshayati, Vayu Bhakshayati. They live on water and Vayu. Who? The people who take to the life of tapasvis. By iti shabda, the abhaksha and vayu bhaksha. The words, like that, the words. Like the words, the Veda also has the status of being a pramana for dharma. These words are common, I mean, very popularly in those days with Abhaksha, Vaibhaksha, referring to the great tapasvis who is living upon water. Not that they consumed water and air. It's also possible for others. But general meaning of that Abhaksha, Vaibhaksha means they live on water, they live on air. That is the meaning. So it is a example Acharya gives. Such words are used. So how we take the meaning of such words? Because the words are such words, the meaning of such words are taken based on the general understanding. Not that they eat water or eat avayu. How can water be eaten? They live upon water and live upon vayu. Just an example is given. Such words are used. The language it is there, referring to the great tapasvis. It referring to the people who observe very austere life. So, like that, Vedaika Meyatvam Dharmasya. Dharma also can be known only from the Veda alone. There's no other way of knowing. Iti Dharmasya Bodhayati. Atra Dharma Shabdena, by the word by the word Dharma Shabdena, what is Katyeta, what is told by the Lord? Nivritti Dharmaha, Pravati Dharmaha. Dharma in the form of pravritti, engaging in karma, action. Dharma in the form of nivritti, withdrawal. Very famous Acharya quotes from the Gita, very famous one. Uktam hi Gita Bhashye. Pitikaya means in the introduction, Upodghata, in the introduction to Gita Bhashya. Shankara Bhagavad Pada says, Vidohi the Vedokta Dharmaha. There are two types of dharma taught by the Veda. What are they? Pravritti Lakshanaha Dharmaha, that is number one. And Nivritti Lakshanaha, number two. Pravritti Lakshano, Nivritti Lakshanascha. Pravritti is engaging in. Nivritti is withdrawal. Engage in karma, action. Pravritti Lakshana Dharma. Withdrawal from karma. That is for Jnana, Moksha, Nivritti Lakshana Dharma. Pravritti Lakshana Dharma for Grihasthas. Nivritti Lakshana Dharma for Sannyasis. That is why Lokesh means Dvida Nishta Pura Prokta Mayanaha. Jnana Yogena Sankyanam, Karma Yogena Yoginam. Iti Bhagavan very clearly says. Acharya knows that. That is why he uses these words in the introduction itself. Two types. Arjuna was interested in Nivritti Lakshana. In fact, Bhagavan did not sanction that. You take up to Pravritti Lakshana Dharma because that will prepare you for Nivritti later. So therefore, Dharma eva param sadhanam. Therefore, Dharmaha eva Visarga is gone, not typo, Sandhi. Dharmaha eva param sadhanam nitya sukha avaptau. Dharma is the greatest sadhanam for gaining nitya sukham. Nitya sukham is sukham that doesn't come and go. Always is there, that sukham. It is Atma sukham, Brahma sukham. Na anyata apekshyam doesn't depend on anything else. No other sadhana required other than dharma. Iti, who says? Karma Mimamsaka says, if you want to gain nitya sukham, do karma. This is what Karma Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa says. Their Tatparyam is only karma. The entire Vedanta as entire Veda has got Tatparyam only in karma. Amna yasya kriyartatvad anarthakyam adadarthanam. It's a famous statement. The entire Veda has for them as Tatparya only in karma. But we don't say that. If we say then we don't become Uttara Mimamsa. It's not karma only. Karma is for those who are in the preparation stage. Jnanam is there. Veda Anta is there. They don't accept. For them, the Jaimini, Puramimamsakas, for them, the entire Shastram as its Tatparya only in doing. Then only you will get Nitya Sukham. Tan Kataksheti Marge iti. No. Marge iti. Who does that? Kataksha means that is looked down upon. Kataksha means looking at thing with the corner. That means you don't consider it. You discard that. Who discard that? Acharya, Shankara Bhagavad Pada. Because If you accept then what will do Vedanta then? If he say Jnanena eva moksha, Jnanena eva moksha, moksha is Nitya Sukham, Swarupa Sukham it is. Only by knowing oneself one can be free from all dukkha, it is knowing oneself, Jnanam. Therefore, Acharya disregards that. Tan katakshayati, just that marga, he looks down upon, it dismisses that. Tena, Paramapurushartha sadhani bhuta Brahma sakshatkara sadhana Vedanta vichara hetutvena. One word it is, compound, such a big compound. What is the Paramapurushartha sadhana? This Parama Purushartha Sadhani Bhuta in the form of sadhanam for gaining the Parama Purushartha, which is Brahma Sakshatkara. Brahma Sakshatkara, for that sadhana is Vedanta Vichara only. So Vedanta Vichara is the hetu, the cause. Enjoying the status of being the hetu, that Vedanta Vichara, that is a sadhanam for Brahma Sakshatkara. And that is a sadhanam for gaining Parama Purushartha, Moksha Purushartha. That is the meaning. Tena, sannyasa rupa nivrta dharmasya, nivrta dharma, which is in the form of sannyasa, giving up. Tat sadhana vairagya hetu bhuta chitta shuddhi hetutvena. For that, chitta shuddhi is required. So chitta shuddhi is a hetu. Without chitta shuddhi, without that is a preparation, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. By that only we can chitta shuddhi, purity. All the malas are relatively washed off by following karma yoga and upasana. Therefore, chitta shuddhi hetutvena, enjoying the being the status of the cause for chitta shuddhi, what? That sadhana for that, sadhana for sannyasa dharma, which is in the form of vairagya, vairagya hetu. Vairagya is a hetu for the sadhana. Not only vairagya, we can bring in viveka vairagya, all the things. Therefore, nishkama karma anushtana rupa pravat dharma se cha apekshitam. For that, what is apekshitam, what is expected, what is required is nishkama karma anushtana. Nishkama karma anushtana means karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Ishvararpana buddhi, prasada buddhi. That is what karma yoga. Mai sanyasya karma. Mai sarvani sanyasya. Adhyatma chetasa. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. Bhagavan says in the Gita. Vikatajvaraha san. Iti. Therefore, nishkama karma. Doing karma without prompted by desires. That is karma yoga. Ishvara prityartam agam karma karomi. I do the karma for pleasing the Lord. That is why in all our sankalpa, by default, we are mamopata samasta dujakshadvara shri parameshwara prityartam. Without that, no sankalpa is there. Therefore, pravritti dharma, which is in the form of karma anushtana, karma yoga, which is apekshitam, which is required, by that only chitta shuddhi is gained. Natu sakshat inartishaya sukha sadhanatvam tad ubayasya iti suchitam. Bhagavan did Acharya also says here, the Chandrasekhara Bharati Siswamagal, Natu, for Sakshat, Sakshan, Niratishay Sukha Sadhanatvam. Niratishay Sukha means Sukham which is unsurpassable. For gaining that directly, the sadhana, the means, which enjoys the means, not these two, not Karma Yoga and Jnanam. Both cannot be combined for gaining that. For gaining, for receiving knowledge, one must have certain capacity, certain preparation, certain eligibility. That is what we call adhigari. Adhigaritvam, we say. For that only nishkama karma anushtanam. Nishkama karma anushtana rupa pravati dharmaha apekshitaha. These two cannot be sadhanam for gaining nirtishaya sukham. That is moksha. Tadubhyam bhagavata bhadarayana. Both are by the Lord. Who is that Bhadarayana? Vyasacharya. In the Mahabharata he says, Swamimau ata pantano yatra veda pratishtitaha pravritti lakshano dharmaha nivrittischa prakititaha. Two, in fact, it is same as Swamimau lokesmin dvida nishta pura prokta mayana, something like that. Panta means path, two margas, or led by the Veda. What are they? One is pravritti lakshana dharma, Karma Yoga we can take. Other one is Nivritti Lakshana Dharma Sannyasa. Pravritti Lakshana Dharma is meant for gaining Chitta Shuddhi, not for knowledge. It is meant not for moksha. It is meant for Chitta Shuddhi. Without Chitta Shuddhi, without preparation, Nivritti Lakshana Dharma, that is for which that lifestyle of Nivritti Lakshana Jnanam, without that, Jnanam is not possible. So Nivrittihi, Nivritti Lakshana Dharmaha, Pravritti Lakshana Dharmaha, iti Dharma Dvayam. Dvau अथ पंथानो वेदाः प्रतिष्ठिताः यत्र वेदा प्रतिष्ठिताः तत्र two types of dharmas are there. For those who are in the preparation stage, preparing for them, Brahmati Lakshana Dharma, those who are already prepared are ready for Jnanam, for them, that is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasam, Shastra, Dhyayanam. 24/7 they are interested, committed to study Shastram. For them, Nivritti Lakshana Dharma, which is characterized by Sannyasa. So therefore, Sannyasa demands 24/7 inquiry. There is no recreation, there is no break, there is no holiday for inquiry. It is 24/7. One cannot should not say I'm bored with. One has to continuously engage in Shastra Patanam. Then Tatacha Brahmanena Upanayana Nantaram. It's a good one. So the Sadhana Panchakamacharya course. It's going to be over. Today time not there. Maybe in the next class we'll complete this. So we'll stop here. We have to start from the Sadhana Panchaka quote. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद
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 जी.
धन्यवाद शरण जी.
धन्यवाद रतन जी.
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद